What's happening, everybody? This is FitSpaz Recovery. I'm your host, Paul, the producer. I'm here to help you get fit, get healthy, and stay sober. I've had a lot of stuff going on in my life the past week. It's not entirely ideal. There have been certain stresses that have been messing with my head a little bit. But I'm going to begin the show as I normally do and tell you a little bit about my fitness. And so I always go back to this word patience. It's something I'm trying to cultivate in myself, and I've felt myself lacking more lately for various reasons. It really is a part of my morning routine. Patience comes back to me. I have it enter my brain when I'm when I'm doing my prayer in the morning, when I'm doing my meditation. I think about what it means because I'm trying to absorb it. I'm trying to visualize it and manifest it as a way of life in my whole state of being, my state of mind. And I've been failing at it sometimes lately. And let me tell you, last week I've been doing this very fun exercise program called Core de Force. It's basically a mixed martial arts program. They mix up different moves, kicks, punches, and have cardio spikes in the middle. And some days are more about building strength, and there's no equipment. You do push-ups, other kinds of core exercises, and jumping and plyo and all this stuff. Very fun, but it's hard hitting, and I have certainly done a great job at pushing myself to maximize my ability. I'm just like annoyed with this right now. Let me pull this forward and see if that helps a little right there. I know. And right in the middle, I'm doing something I shouldn't really be doing. No, not quite. Oh, what is he doing? What's he doing? I'm correcting the shot of me doing. Now that's better. See how my head's a little closer to the top there? Now that's how I should have had it. So let me get back to Core de Force. Been pushing very hard in that program. In every single workout, it's like I'm pushing myself to the edge, and that's what I've been doing with my workouts, trying to get stronger, trying to grow, because I think when you push yourself past your performance on previous occasions, that's when the real improvement shows and starts and keeps going, and you push past plateaus that way. So, but the thing about this program, it's like a couple other programs I tried. I don't like to hit the same muscle groups every day. And so when I do, I start to feel aches and pains. And in the case of last week, I had a pinched nerve come up on Wednesday that was just outrageous. It hurt the crap out of me. If I had video of my working out and I could play it for you right now, you'd see how I was screaming and swearing and just infuriated, because it was like what is it? It's not destabilizing. It's debilitating pinch. Like, ow! Everything stops when that pinch hits. So there were all kinds of moves, kicks, and things I couldn't do because of that. And I was mad because I couldn't properly make it through my workout. But these things sometimes happen, and I have to remind myself, hey, back off a little bit from exercising. So I took 4 days off. I took Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off from working out. I did do some foam rolling, some stretching, loosening up my body, and the problem seemed to sort itself out. I don't have that pinched nerve anymore. I did other things, like I went from sitting on my couch in a certain way that I sit on this hard surface right on that area, and I went to this recliner I have, this very comfortable recliner. And like I said, I did the foam rolling and the relief for those days, and it seems to have sorted itself out. So I'm behind schedule. And what I've been disciplining myself to think and do is like, hey, don't be too hard on myself. Although I'll get to how I felt on those 4 days off in a second. Don't be too hard on myself for taking time off when I need it. It's like I put such a large amount of pressure on myself to go through it beat by beat and stay on schedule, and I shouldn't do that. One of the things I focus on in meditation is I actually have this part where I say about how I want to maintain my fitness wisely. Wisely meaning I want to do my best with fitness all the way up to the maximum where it can benefit my health. But anything over where it might start to hurt me or cause me problems, I don't want it. So I want to find that comfortable median, experimenting with myself, trying different things where it's like I get that maximum benefit, but I don't go beyond. I don't hurt myself. So that I'm reminding myself of every day. I was like saying that for many months, so many months, over a year probably, in meditation, I've been saying that to myself. And except what I'm trying to do is make my ideas and visualizations and meditation come into alignment with the way I'm living in my life, the things I'm doing when I'm actually living a life of action. Hope this is making sense. And what that means with fitness is I need to take a break sometimes. And even if, like on the schedule today, there's a hard workout, like today, I decided to skip today's workout and thoroughly do a recovery routine, an active recovery routine. And it wasn't the one in the program. It was just me warming myself up for about 3 minutes, getting the blood flowing, and then stretching everything in my body, everything that I can think of, and doing just a couple things to warm myself up with some yoga moves and whatnot. A lot of things, upper body, lower body, arms, everything. And then doing some foam rolling and being like, that's it, that's enough. Because I want to find that comfortable median for myself. I would like to be able to go day to day and be one of those people, but I am fearful that when I push myself too hard, when I'm sore, I don't want to hit things too much, because that's when I notice inflammation starts, the pinched nerves start to happen. And so I want to give myself a little more time here and there to heal, which I think is essential when I'm doing this, but I have to remember not to give myself a hard time. I was just talking about the 4 days that I took off last week and what that was like for me. It was relaxing at first, but the more I went without exercising, the more I could feel my mood becoming debilitated. So I saw firsthand last week how my exercise is tied to my state of mind, my good spirits. And when I don't do it, there's a lot more frustration there. So I had a lot more personal issues last week. I had resentments coming out of the woodwork from the past, all kinds of resentments. And so because I'm not properly engaged in my activity day to day, which distracts me from, so if something might normally be bothering me that I shouldn't be dwelling on, exercise and meditating, they all sort of take my mind away from that, and I habituate myself to being in this positive mode. Oh, hey, I'm exercising, I'm feeling good. I get that natural boost of endorphins, which I love. But when I don't do it, all of a sudden my body's like stabilizing in a way that's not pleasant, and I realize my mind goes in a negative way. I start getting pulled into negative things. I have emotional outbursts that are sort of abnormal, and it's not very nice. So it serves as a reminder to me, don't hang it up for too long, dude, because you start slipping. And I keep up those habits, like I said, because it trains my mind to be in a state of mind when I'm doing that. I had a wonderful thought the other day, a couple days ago, when I was exercising. This long 47-minute thing I did, and then a 5-minute core thing afterwards. I was thinking about how wonderful it is when you create that discipline to do something like that, and you're repeating it and you're getting the benefits, and you can see the benefits between my mood and my body looking better, having a more muscular sort of toned shape, and all of that, all these benefits, not just the vanity, but especially what happens in my mood, and thinking about, well, this is just one aspect of life every day. I put this little bit of effort in every day, and I know I'm getting this benefit out of it, and it goes away if I stop. And thinking, by golly, there are probably so many other ways in life that if I put energy toward things, I say this all the time on here, I think, in one form or another, if I put energy towards all kinds of activities, I can get a personal growth benefit out of it. It's so essential. So I might have been better off last week if on those days I didn't exercise, when I pour myself even extra into other productive activities where my mind is occupied. I have to replace exercise with something that gives me that emotional personal benefit. And so Yeah, I didn't feel good last week, and I knew I was getting back into exercise on Monday this week, and it was good. And I pushed myself so darn hard that I needed to take today off. But let me tell you just a couple other things. I have been far more isolated lately, and I'm realizing some things. So I'm approaching 2 years completely sober, which is amazing for me. I'm like, holy crap, that's amazing. But are things entirely perfect right now? No, they're not. They're harder than I would have imagined they would be. And part of that is because I have been neglecting certain patterns and things I know that put me in the right state of mind, that set me out on the right path toward feeling the way that I need to feel, the way that I should feel, positive, productive, upbeat, enthusiastic about life. I haven't been going to Marijuana Anonymous meetings, and these are important for a whole myriad of reasons. I go back there and I'm reminded about why I'm not doing this. I hear others telling me why they're not doing it, and I go, oh, I identify with that, and that's part of the power of that program. But I'm also in a group of others. There's a fellowship with other people and how much I need it. So what I'm going to tell you right now is tonight I'm going. It's Wednesday night. I'm about 2 weeks out from my 2-year anniversary, and tonight I'm going because I'm just not feeling myself, and I need to re-engage with the world. And that engagement has been so important and helpful to me on the road of sobriety. And so I'm going tonight, and I'm reminded to do this because I also today was listening to an episode of this podcast, Recovery Elevator. Some months back, I did an interview on there, and I was just listening to his brand new episode this week. That guy Paul is pretty intelligent, and I'm really intrigued about how he approaches his sobriety and his journey. And I heard a lot of things that really matter. He's down and out a little bit, it sounds like, and putting on a brave face after, I think, getting dumped from a relationship. And I know that feeling. God knows I know that feeling. And I have in the past dealt with something like that far more worse, much more worse. And it was an excuse for me. I think that kind of heartbreak is what led me to be more abusive with the substances, drinking and smoking, to cover up my feelings, to smother it out and pretend like it's not happening, or using that way of forgetting about it. So instead of meditating and exercising in the morning and pushing those negative things out and letting myself be positive, I was just using substances. And so I identified with him in that way, and I hope he feels better. I'm really impressed by that guy, by the way. So if you want to check out Recovery Elevator, I think it's recoveryelevator.com or recoveryelevator.org. Anyway, if you search in the iTunes podcast directory, you'll find him. He had this woman on, and I was listening to her advice and whatnot. And another thing that I identified with was when she said something about keep putting your foot in front of the other. And it's like, if you disengage with the process, you're going to find yourself regressing. And I've been finding myself regressing emotionally, being less patient, more inclined to have furious moments of anger. And so let me give you an example. Last night, I stood up to do something. It was about 9:15, and I banged my knee on the table in front of me. And it was a hard, smack. And I emoted. I would just like a really, and if you were a fly on the wall, you'd be like, hey, dude, calm down. But it really did hurt, I must say. But then I immediately catch myself after doing that, and I'm like, dude, take it easy. Seriously, take it easy. Don't be so willing to fly off the handle like that. So I caught myself, but it's like whenever I hurt myself inadvertently in stupid ways, I get angry and I emote. And so something similar happened this morning when my mom bought me these 2 lamps, right? Good occasion. I got 2 new 3-way lamps. One I put in my room, one I put on this corner desk up I have here by my TV. And so I had to move my bed out from the wall. And when I had unplugged the old lamp and put the new one there, I went to push my bed back, and I knocked the new lamp over. And it didn't break the lamp, but it knocked the light out. It ruined the light bulb. So I was just like so mad that I did that, and I started emoting loudly again. I'm not going to show you by doing it here and now, but and then I immediately caught myself and I was like, dude, chill out. Not that big a deal, and I just reminded myself, pay more attention to what the heck you're doing. I mean, like if my daughter had done that, I wouldn't have flown off the handle. I actually have a peaceful way of dealing with things when she makes certain mistakes. She would say it was an accident, and it was an accident. Sometimes you got to give yourself a break, but you also got to be willing to pay attention to what you're doing. And so I banged my knee because I wasn't paying attention, and I knocked over the lamp when I didn't pay attention, and so I overly emoted, and these things are just standing out, and so I thought I'd share them with you. But I'm dealing with things a little more lightly than usual, and it's been a hard week. I'm not gonna kid you. I've had some sad feelings, and I'm like, oh, whoa. So get back in the routine, right? That's what I have to do. And doing this podcast, for example, right now, I'm in a certain state of mind doing it. Like, okay, no, yeah, I'm doing a job now, and it's like I can't go off and be angry. So I'm habituated in this positive direction doing it. And last week, I didn't mention this. It was Thanksgiving. I had all my setup ready here to go. I could have just turned it on and hit the button and gone, but I was in such a disheveled state with my mood that I decided not to do it. I don't know if I decided. I was just like, put it off, don't want to do it. It would have been a good time to do it over Thanksgiving. There were some things I could have talked about, but instead I wimped out, and it was kind of sad. But I mean, I persevered. I got through the weekend. I'm feeling better. There are other things stressing me out that I'm not getting into here because it's a little personal and more involved and complicated, involving business. Not with me directly, but certainly there are implications for me, my future, my sister, my mom, my dad, my daughter, all of the above. And it's actually quite serious. If I sat here and told you what it was, you'd be like, oh, it involves going to court. It involves a protracted battle. And I want to be up for that. I've mentioned a little bit about it in past weeks, but I'm not going to get super public with it here. Just strange stuff. Gotta keep putting one foot in front of the other, like I was telling you. Can't disengage from the process too much before things start going awry. And I think things started going awry for me when I went to Europe and I came back because I'm having a lot of trouble reestablishing certain important habits. And I'm thinking, I have a whole list in my head. I ought to write it down, like, of how I can solve certain problems I'm having that I'm not going to get into. And it's not all personal. Some of it's business, some of it's financial, and it takes an inordinate amount of patience. And so what I got to do is be patient, be calm. And I say that word all the time on my Facebook page, on my personal page, in these videos. Patience, patience, patience. And it's true. But it can also be a detriment if there's something you got to take initiative with and you're passing it off as patience. It's not really patience, it's procrastination. So be honest with yourself. Identify whether you're being truly patient and it's necessary and good and virtuous, or if you're procrastinating, but you're mischaracterizing it as patience. I have this part in the Serenity Prayer I added at the end where it says, like, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can. In that statement, I say the things I can, the things I should, the things I want to, and the things I must. And the last part I say, the normal statement is, and the wisdom to know the difference, but I add, and the wisdom, the honesty, and the integrity to know the difference. And this is like something I'm saying to apply to that statement about procrastination and patience to you. You might be telling yourself you're being patient, but what you're really doing is injuring yourself by procrastinating and deluding yourself into thinking it's patience. So I'm constantly, whether or not other people are seeing it or not, maybe others would witness that in me and I could benefit from that information. I'm trying to be honest with myself no matter what the issue is. I don't feel like I have to necessarily confess all of my deep soul inner secrets to somebody. It's really important to me that I'm honest with myself, because I think that's like the basis of being properly aligned in life, personally, spiritually, and all of the above. and it's meaningful and it's valuable. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to be honest with myself. I'm going to start wrapping this up. I want to thank Kevin MacLeod really quick for the great musical backdrop that I get to play in this show every week when I do it. Go to Incompetech to find out more about him. Very talented man. As always, you can follow me on several forms of social media. The one I'm most active on, though, is my FitSpaz page on Facebook. So search for FitSpaz, one word, just like this, what you see here, and it should come up with my name, Paul Susa. And I don't want to tell you my name. Go find it if you're curious about my last name. And so you can also, like the central hub for everything is FitSpaz.com, but you'll find anything I'm doing more daily on the FitSpaz page on Facebook. And there goes the monitor. That I mean, like, oh, now that's because the computer's going to sleep. Gotta be patient. That's my bad. I gotta set that thing over there so that you know what I'm saying, huh? I did a pretty good job tidying up down here in my studio this morning. You can't really tell, but I redid this foam padding on the wall. And what's different about it is prior there was a blanket behind the foam padding that was of the zodiac stuff. You know, Libra. I can't think of, I'm a Libra, so I know that one, but all the other ones there are, it's not, I mean, so I used to have that hanging on the wall as a decoration, then I covered it up with these pads. I took that down, put that in my laundry room to clean it, and I'm not going to put it back on the wall, but I reapplied this. I kind of want to have a brick wall facade behind me. That's been on my mind. I don't know if that'll ever happen. I have been, I dusted all this stuff off right here. I cleaned it off. I tidied up certain things because it just was getting gnarly. If you looked at it closely, it's like, eh. And I'm going to update these graphics, but also this computer here has an old, outdated operating system. And so I'm contemplating updating it as much as I can, and that way I can use a newer Skype version to talk to people over here while I'm talking to you. And right now I can use an older Skype version, but it's just a little buggy and strange. But the whole thing, getting this audio system here that I do multi-track recording with, working with the sound card and the stuff here in the computer, it's a pain in the butt. It's not an intuitive installation. I've had problems with it in the past, so I'm reluctant to do it. I wish I could just buy another computer and keep this functioning one working while I get the other one up and running and then swap it out. But it's like, so it would take me being out of commission a little bit and not knowing if the outcome's going to be okay. But so I'm tidying this up here. I'm preparing things to hopefully open this up, like I've been saying this since, God knows since when, many months. I want to be able to talk to people on here so that there's more interactivity going. I also have it in my mind to put this out there live over Facebook as I'm doing it, and that has me a little bit nervous. I don't know why. Just getting feedback I find distracting, but sometimes I get something someone says and bam, I can talk to it. And so I'm nervous about doing that. Anyone want to give me feedback about doing that? Putting the show out there live? I'm being a wimp. That's what I'm doing. But I'm going to wrap this up today because I've talked too much. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty glad that I did this. And I'm going to still be coming to you approximately once a week. Another little tidbit is I have this idea to do another show that's more like of a political nature. And it's like, I want to do that. I can speak well to certain topics. And yet I'm afraid to do that. Yeah, I'm admitting I'm a wuss. I don't like the trolling, the feedback I get from people, even when I think I'm right. I don't like taking people on in arguments. It's one thing if people want to have mature debates. It's another if people want to troll you, be mean to you, dehumanize you, label you. All that upsets me, but I just have this feeling I can speak very well to other topics of a political nature. And so I'd like the feedback from people to do that as well. It's the negative that's making me reluctant to do that. And so that's kind of lame, but that's the truth. I'm just telling you the truth. Outro. Everybody, have yourselves a lovely week. I'm going to do the best I can to have a lovely week myself. I'm going to be country dancing tonight. My daughter's coming to me tomorrow for a night. And then this weekend, I anticipate I'll be going out and seeing some cousins. And I'll be in another situation where people are drinking and I feel awkward because I'm not doing that. And that'll be interesting. but I've stayed sober a million times now, so I'm just planning on doing the same. And I want to see my family too. So have a nice week, everybody. I will talk to you soon, and I appreciate every one of you who are listening and getting something out of this. Send feedback to paul@fitspaz.com. And tell your friends about the show if you think there's something they can benefit from. Other than that, take it easy. We'll talk to you later.